Welcome to World Prism. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. Something unexpected is happening in the world of military aviation. It's a story about a massive multi-billion-dollar decision. A decision that could change a nation's defense strategy for decades to come. For years, Canada seemed set on its path. The plan was to buy a fleet of American F-35 stealth fighters. These are some of the most advanced jets ever built. But now, a surprising challenger has entered the ring. A sleek, efficient fighter from Sweden, the Saab Gripen, is suddenly in the spotlight. This has sent a shockwave through the halls of power in Ottawa, forcing a dramatic and high-stakes re-evaluation of Canada's future in the skies. The news has caught many by surprise. Canada had already legally committed to buying its first batch of F-35s. The deal, worth a staggering $19 billion for 88 jets, was considered a done deal. But politics and global events have a way of changing things. Now, the Canadian government is taking a serious second look. Whispers in political circles have turned into open discussions. Could Canada really pivot away from its closest ally's top fighter jet? The idea that the remaining aircraft in the deal could be replaced by a Swedish alternative is no longer just speculation. It is a real possibility being debated at the highest levels of government. So, why is Canada suddenly having second thoughts? Political and economic pressures are mounting. The relationship with the United States is strained. Trade tensions and tough political talk have made Ottawa uneasy. Cancelled trade talks sent a clear signal. Relying on one partner for defense seems risky. The F-35 symbolizes this alliance, but the cost is a major issue. The F-35 is expensive to buy and maintain. Budgets are tightening. The long-term financial commitment is under scrutiny. Prime Minister Mark Carney ordered a review in March 2025. Concerns about cost escalations and taxpayer burden prompted this. The Gripen offers a cheaper alternative. To understand the debate, you have to understand the machine at its center. The Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II is not just another fighter jet. It is a flying supercomputer, a titan of the skies. It is what the military calls a fifth-generation fighter. This means it is built from the ground up for one primary purpose: stealth. Its shape, its materials, and its ability to carry weapons inside its body are all designed to make it nearly invisible to enemy radar. In a modern conflict, the ability to see your opponent without being seen is the ultimate advantage. The F-35 is designed to operate in the most dangerous, highly contested airspace and come out on top, but its power goes far beyond just being hard to detect. The F-35 is packed with some of the most advanced sensors ever put on an aircraft. It can gather vast amounts of information from the battlefield, from the air, the ground, and even from space. What makes it truly revolutionary is its sensor fusion. The jet's powerful computers take all this data and present it to the pilot in a single, clear picture. The pilot essentially becomes a battlefield manager with a godlike view of everything happening around them. This level of situational awareness is a game changer, allowing the pilot to make faster, smarter decisions than any adversary. Now, let's look at the challenger from Sweden, the Saab JAS 39 Gripen. If the F-35 is a heavyweight, the Gripen is a nimble, clever middleweight boxer. It's not as stealthy as the F-35, often carrying weapons externally, but it's a highly capable, efficient, and reliable multi-role fighter. The Gripen features advanced electronic warfare and is designed for adaptability. Its low operating cost, about $7,500 per hour, is a major advantage. For countries like Canada, that means more flying, more training, and big savings. The Gripen can be refueled and rearmed by a small crew in minutes. As the debate rages on, a new idea has emerged. Why not have both? Canada has already paid for the first 16 F-35s. What if it kept those and bought Gripens for the rest of the fleet? On the surface, it sounds like a perfect compromise. You get the high-end stealthy capability of the F-35 for the most dangerous missions, and the cheaper workhorse Gripen for everyday patrols and sovereignty missions. It seems like the best of both worlds. However, military experts and Air Force officials are sounding the alarm. They warn that operating a mixed fleet of two completely different fighter jets could create a logistical nightmare of epic proportions. Think about what it takes to keep a modern fighter jet flying. You need a dedicated pipeline of pilots trained specifically for that aircraft. That means 2 different training programs, 2 sets of expensive simulators, and 2 groups of instructors. You would need to train pilots to fly the F-35 and a completely separate group to fly the Gripen. This would stretch the Royal Canadian Air Force's training system, which is already under strain just preparing for the F-35 transition. It would divide the pilot pool and limit flexibility in assigning personnel where they are most needed. This decision is about more than just money and logistics. It's about Canada's role in its most important military alliances, NATO and NORAD. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, a joint operation with the United States, is the bedrock of continental defense. For decades, Canada and the US have flown jets that can seamlessly operate together. The F-35 is designed to be the new cornerstone of this partnership. It's deeply integrated into the US military's command and control networks. Choosing a non-American fighter like the Gripen could introduce a crack in that seamless integration. The F-35 is not just a plane, it's a node in a vast, secure network. It shares data in real time with other F-35s, with ships at sea and with commanders on the ground. This is the future of coalition warfare. 13 European NATO members are already flying or waiting for their F-35s. It's becoming the standard for high-end air power within the alliance, seen as the key to countering advanced Russian aircraft like the Su-57. If Canada were to opt out of the majority of its F-35 purchase, it could find itself on the outside looking in during critical moments. It might be left unable to fully participate in the most advanced operations with its closest allies. As we stand here on 31st October 2025, Canada is at a crossroads. The decision it makes will define its military and industrial landscape for the next half-century. The choice between the F-35 and the Gripen is not simply a matter of picking the best jet. It's a complex calculation involving economics, sovereignty, and the nation's strategic alliances. Each path offers a different vision for the future, and both come with significant risks and rewards. The stakes are incredibly high, and the entire country is waiting to see which way the government will turn. On one hand, there is the powerful economic lure of the Gripen. The promise of an assembly line in Canada, creating thousands of jobs and transferring cutting-edge technology, is a compelling argument. For communities that could host such a facility, it represents a massive economic boost. However, there's a catch. Critics point out that these jobs may only be temporary, lasting only as long as the production run. Furthermore, choosing the Gripen could jeopardize the work already being done by over 30 Canadian high-tech firms. These companies are part of the global F-35 supply chain, building critical components for every jet produced. Walking away from the F-35 could mean walking away from those long-term contracts.